hello, and we have so much to update. So I am like a touch late today for you, but I promise to make that up. So as soon as I know everybody is coming in, so I'll start without delay. And today it is the RRF update. Update as of April 27th and this moment. The most recent update is coming from about 20 minutes ago. So it's very current. And I want to, before I start, I want to make sure I mention that disclaimer, right? And we want to provide value. And this is a free webinar by our firm, Community CPA, provide general information to you. And the Community CPA, we always welcome everyone to become our client, and we'll be happy to provide you with the best professional service. And remember, our phone number is 515-288-3188. Now, SBA program, the RRF, Restaurant Revitalization Fund. And a couple of things I want to ease a little bit of your attention, because I know how now everywhere is talking about you got to apply first, and first come first serve. I really don't think that is the right way, and for a government fund to position themselves this way. And I think that this fund need to be made available to people who are in need. And the first come first serve, very sad, but I hope that will change. But I want you to remember, there's a $5 billion for restaurant with 2019 gross sales less than 500,000. If you are those small restaurants, your gross sales is $500,000 less in 2019. There are money available for you. So the large company cannot come in and take all of it and without you having it. So there's $5 billion put aside for people like that. There's $4 billion put aside for restaurant. In 2019, the gross sales is between $500,000 to $1.5 million. So if you are more than half a million on gross sales in 2019, you still have a place. You have that $4 billion available, carved out for you, put aside. So you're not gonna miss it. And $500 million for restaurants with 2019 gross sales less than 50,000. So having said that, they are $9.5 billion put aside for small folks. So as much as there's large folks and wanting 10 million, 5 million out of this chunk, and there are funds made available to small businesses. So I hope that if you don't apply for the first day, you will still get it. If you don't apply for the second day, you will still get it. So I really think that as long as you do it within the first 2 weeks, you should be okay. Now, yeah, I don't run the government. So what I said is just out of the confidence in our government and out of the experience we got from the PPP funding. So hopefully that gives a little bit of my insight, my understanding that helps you to ease up the pressure a little bit. And before I dive into how the form is working, and I want to talk about 3 cases, how you calculate. Folks, I want you to understand there are 3 categories for the restaurateurs, okay? The first category for the RRF fund, simple. You run the whole year of 2019. You also run the whole year of 2020. You belong to the table number 1. There are 3 tables in this application. You belong to the table number 1. So when you choose, when the form comes out, they make you choose which table you belong to. Hear me out. If you have a 12 months 2019, you have 12 months 2020, you are table number 1. That's the first case. And the table number 2 is my second case, which that one equals to your 2019 was not a full year. it is a partial year. And then your 2020 is a full year. And I know you're going to sit there goes, Ying, what do you mean by full year? I closed the 3 months. I open, I close. I really did not run every day, 365 days. That's okay. You opened. You are still open as of today. So you opened 12 months, even though some of those months or days or weeks, you just give up. But as long as legally you did not close your company, as long as you did not file bankruptcy, as long as you continue running it, and you are fine. Okay, so you are considered having a 2020 year business. So now if you belongs to part year 2019 and a full year 2020, folks, you are table number 2. Just remember that. Table number 3. Table number 3 is people who did not run business. They didn't really have a business. And listen to me really carefully. This is for restaurants that began making sales in this period from January 1st, 2020 to March 10th, 2021. So let's say if you were doing business renovation the whole time in 2019 and coming into 2020, you were still doing renovations until July. Then you opened in August 2020. If that is the case, you belong to table number 3. And the spirit of table number 3 is to give you the money that you spent, and that not the money you lose, because you haven't even really do any business. You don't have a comparative. So the spirit of the table 3 is to calculate how much expenses you paid and subtract all of those gross sales you made a little bit here and there, and that amount, the leftover, that's what they want to give you. And in most of the cases, you also don't have a PPP, so you will get RRF. So folks, if you didn't open in 2019 at all, and you opened during the 2020, or you opened before March 10th, 2021, you made some gross sales in January and February of this year, you qualify for table 3. This is only one side of one kind of calculation for table 3. There is another one also make you eligible for table 3. That is expenses you have incurred from February the 15th, 2020. That's the day we declared pandemic, folks. February the 15th, 2020. From that day on to March 11th of 2021, if you just did not even open, you just put in a lot of money and you just sitting there and you cannot open. And if that is the case, the expenses you paid for would qualify for this table 3. So I just want to give you that much of understanding with the 3 tables, folks, and that's really key. I want you to know that it is not just for restaurant open full year and in 19 and 20. It opened, that's a table 1. Table 2 is for restaurant open partial year in 2019, full year 2020. Table 3 is for the restaurant opened in 2020 and just open after 2020, and or not open at all and had expenses between February 15 to March 11 of 2021. All right, having said that, and let's go for the steps of application. This is the newest update. The first thing you're gonna do, the first thing you are going to do is registration. You're gonna register. Okay, let me start sharing my, I do have a PowerPoint I prepared for everybody. Let me find, where's my PowerPoint? So folks, do you see me? Do you see my PowerPoint? So this is registration, right? And the registration opens this Friday. Friday at the 9 a.m. East Standard Time. That equals to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that would be to me, and that is a New York time at 9 a.m., Des Moines time at 8 a.m., and California time at 6 a.m. It is open for registration. What you do is registration. You're going to establish your login. The registration would allow you to come back to your application time after time. So let's say if you do application yourself, then you got stuck with something question, you can log off and come back and call Community CPA, call your friend, figure out the answer, go back in to continue doing your application. And that registration will establish what we call two-factor authentication. And they will send a text message to your cell phone so you can log in with that number. So this tells you that if you are going to do the application yourself, then later on you decided, oh yeah, I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to have Yin help me doing that. Then it's tied with your identification number. So you need to be next to me. You need to be available to me. So when I log in, and then you need to give me that number. Otherwise, how do I know how to log in, right? So make sure that it's a two-factor authentication to prevent people from getting into your account without authorization. And so this is what you will establish. And you will have to, will have to be an authorized signer, because you will need to sign at the end of the application. And then the SBA recommended you are getting help side by side. I mean, during the pandemic time, how do you get side by side? I'm not going to sit next to you. And so I guess if you're really stuck, and at our firm, we can do Zoom, and we can do Microsoft Teams to get onto your computer to guide you through if that's needed. But just make sure that you take responsibility. And when you get into the registration, once you registered, that account is yours. Even if someone help you, it has to be working with you together. And so you cannot run away and doing registration and without having this code coming in and providing to people who help you, right? And after the registration, that is Friday. And then on Monday, you will come back in to start application. That's when they said it will open. So it's 12 noon. I don't know whether it's 12 noon for New York time, 11 a.m. For Des Moines, and then 9 a.m. for California. So this is where, this is when the time will start. And there will be a Spanish portal for people. You just go to Restaurantes after SBA.gov, and there's a supporting line with 10 different languages, folks. Write that down, 1-844-279-8898, 10 different languages. And the one thing we want to mention to folks is that the bank account, you know how after you fill up all the forms, there's a bank account you need to fill in. Because of the PPP application, because of all the information that SBA already have about you, and the bank account will pop up, okay? You will want to choose the right one, because they want you to link this money to your checking account, to the one that runs your business. So you want to choose the right one. If you change your bank account, that account is no longer working. Make sure you put in the new one. Don't automatically accept what they give you. Who knows? Maybe by now, and you change the bank already, right? Maybe you got some bank loan and the bank wants you to change the account. You already did, and now you're sending your money to some different bank. And if you have multiple companies, let's say I'm a restaurant owner. I have like 5 different restaurants. They're not franchise. They're not like under one EIN number. They're under 5 different EIN number, and it's a totally different 5 entities. If that's the case, you establish one register. You can always go in to put in one application at a time, and to start the application with one EIN, another EIN, so you can have them all under one login. All right, folks. And once you submit and no going back, you cannot go back to change it unless you're going to talk to SBA and getting review. I'm just afraid that it will take a long time. Then money really is going to run off by the time you solve your issue. So make sure when you click submit, it is done. So you need to make sure it is right, okay? And one new things we learned, and we know that for proving of your the claim, they want 2019 tax return copy. Okay, some folks has 2019 tax return, and you most of the restaurant is on cash base, and if you happen to be on accrual, and you probably needed to figure out what is your cash base, okay? But most of the restaurant are cash based, so you can submit your 2019 tax return. But for 2020, you can submit the draft return, or you can submit the financial statement. And here I have something I want to mention to folks. 2020 is very different. You got a lot of government grants, like state grants and the PVP, EIDL loan, and all kind of money that coming into your checking account. Make sure you work with your accountant really closely. Those state funds, grants, money you got from the local government, and that is not going to be included in your gross receipts. Your gross receipts for 2020 should really be what's out of your POS system plus your cash sales, okay? And some POS system has all the cash and check and credit card summarized together. Some of the POS system, they only process the credit card, so that's not a complete sales, but you should really just collect your sales, but not any grant. So you want to make sure that the dollar amount you got for 2020 is not including those grants. If it is includes the grants, you're gonna get that much less money than what you really should get, right? Because they use the difference between 19 and 20 to figure out what you short. But if you add the government grants in there, you short less. Then you're gonna end up getting less. So make sure you do that separation really carefully. People who are doing accountings and financial statement with our firm, we absolutely know that. We already classify that differently. We don't commingle your sales with the money you got due to pandemic. But some of the accounting folks are not aware of that, and they just take all your deposit as your income. Wrong. That's wrong. And make sure you correct that. And what we find out is they also, other than the tax return they wanted for 19 and the draft return for 2020 and or financial statement for 2020 or POS system printout for 2020, they also want your most recent 3 months bank statement. That is what? That is March, February, January, and or April, March, February. They want that because they want to prove that you are still in operation. So that is the one item, and no one really talked about, and we just learned that today at lunchtime. So make sure that you go to your banks, go to your bank, get your statement if you don't have them electronically, or print them out and getting ready to upload, because those are need to be uploaded to the application. All right, so at this moment, I am going to switch my my view to another screen here. I want to go to some screenshot we captured from the portal. The portal is not open yet. This is, I know the quality of it is horrible, and this is the best we can do. Thanks to Catherine, and she's a hero behind the screen, okay? And she really is the one providing those information. Folks, look at this. And this is the portal, what it looked like when you log in. After you registered, you start doing application. You see that, I know, I apologize, but this is the best I can do. Did you see that application right here? So the application, this is your application. You're gonna start a new application. So if you have multiple restaurants, as long as it's not under one EIN number, you are going to do add applications 1, 2, 3, however, how many you have, all right? If you have a real restaurant outside, but you also have a catering service, catering service, a restaurant in on your Schedule C, as your 1040, then you need to have two. You need to have one under your social security number, one under the EIN number. So just make sure that this is not meant to be just one, can be many, depends on how many restaurants you have. But if you have one EIN number, but two separate locations, you want to add them together. And they are not separated by location. And I remember someone was asking me that question quite earlier before we get all these guidelines. So my answer at that time saying that maybe the application would allow you to define by geographical location. And that answer now I say is wrong because they go by EIN number. If you have a EIN number one, just one EIN number, but you have like 3 different locations, say 2 locations closed and 1 location still open. In this case, you're gonna add all 3 together. Even though they're closed, it doesn't matter. You're gonna treat them as a one business because it's one EIN, all right? And so look at this one. This is the eligibility check mark. And you remember seeing that are you a state local government and operated business? You know how to answer that. And the business details, right? Special circumstances. And so you want to choose, and you are owned by 1 or more women, and then you choose these category. And socially, economically disadvantaged individuals, minorities, are people with low income, and they're all here. So you check one of those, you belong to those carved out money. Earlier I was talking about. So even if even if the total funding is going down, but that special category of funds will be there for you, and if others are going fast. So that's that one. Business identification, of course, you know the types, right? You got to know whether you're S Corp, C Corp, LLC, what you are, you have to know that. And if you don't know that, you're probably a good candidate to get someone else to do that for you. And just don't waste. Just don't answer is wrong because we cannot waste our time to fix it. And right here, folks, I want to draw your attention. Did you see that business TIN number? And in there, it has an EIN number, SSN number, ITIN number. What does that mean? That means your business could be under an ITIN number. So let's say if I have an ITIN number and I have I have a restaurant, but I report that under my ITIN number under Schedule C, then here I will come to apply. So the answer is absolutely, ITIN folks can apply, okay? And if you have friends, someone who are shied away from all the government fundings because of they have ITIN, time to just knock their door, tell them that, folks, you can apply. And I just heard the webinar and from Ying, and she said that is right there. I'm not making it up, folks. It's right here. And sometimes the knowledge we get is not so much of we read a dictionary or we went to do the code and finish the whole chapter of the code reading. No, it is because when we got into the actual doing it, and we actually notice what is allowed, what is not allowed in the instruction of the form itself. So in our firm, we always tell our folks that, whoever, when we hire new staff coming into working at our firm, we always say that everything come to your desk. If it is a form from IRS, for the first time, you're always going to read from the left corner all the way to the right corner. And it doesn't matter how many pages in between. So that way, you learn from those form instructions. So this is a typical ways to understand ITIN is available because it's right in here. Okay. And calculation. I know they call that award calculation. It is so funny because it is not award. It is actually, otherwise it's award to COVID-19. So we don't want to award COVID-19. It's just funds available. But the reason they have that word in here, because this is kind of like award system. That's why in the very beginning, folks, we even told folks that to go apply for SAM number because it's award. That's where that comes from. But then SBA changed their path and say, no, don't apply for that. We're going to do it differently. So thanks to SBA, and we appreciate them. And here you go. And look at this PPP loans, right? SBA PPP loan number. And SBA PPP loan number is not the bank loan number, folks. You've got to have the SBA PPP loan number. If you got a number you don't know is SBA or is the bank loan number, call your bank. Ask your bank, is this SBA PPP loan number or it is your loan number to me? And most of the large bank like Wells Fargo and the US Bank, they give you the bank loan number. If you are getting the PPP from the large banks, pay special attention. You may be not having SBA PPP number. Make sure you get one, okay? Go get it. So here, that's the table 1, table 2, table 3. I already told you. And, I noticed that this is table 4, is catch-all. Table 4 is catch-all, and you can just give them information, they will decide. So looks like they're trying to be very inclusive. So you tell your folks that even if you don't qualify for 1, 2, 3, and if you have this weird situation, go to table 4, right? So that's good. And the deposit account information, this is where they came up with selecting your bank. Just be really careful. Don't select your 401k plan. Select your checking account. And if your checking account changed, don't select any. Just put in new. Supporting document. This is where you see there 3 months of bank statement. Okay, and you need to upload. See there, they have this upload button. Okay, you upload. Okay. If you are just kind of terrified with computer, you just don't know whether you're doing it right, and you always can look for free help from the SBA local office or go to SBDC. And those are the ones I know for sure they have it, but otherwise, and you always can look for third party to help you. Community CPA, we're here to help you, and we want to make sure that you get this thing filled up correctly. And if you need us to be on Zoom with you so you can do your work and we can verify, and just give us a call and we will try to get everybody taken care of, whoever asks for it. But at this time, it's still good that if you could just take that matter into your own hand and get it done. Okay, so authorize the owner of applicants. So this is the amount you're gonna get. They're gonna show you. You sign and submit. Look at that. Okay, and of course you can withdraw your application too. And then this last thing you see here, message for this award, means message for your application. And it looks like they will give you message in here, so you need to go back to check. And it is really, I will tell you that it is really an effort SBA is making, trying to make it easy for everybody to apply on your own. So hopefully this give you some sort of understanding. And let's go back to the website right here. I got SBA website right here for you. And what I did is I will just go through that with you together, because there's no secret. www.sba.gov. And when I come over here and I go to learn more, I just do this myself. And I come over here and I look at the Restaurant Revitalization Fund right here. I click. So I came over here. Right here, I have program details, supplemental document, and this is the program fund guide. And here is the application, sample of application. You can definitely click here. And there is a RRF knowledge-based supporting document. I'll tell you that I tell you the secret. If you think that I talk a lot of things really important, it is because I really look at this website. I spend time, I look at what's in here, and I learn from, Jane Armstrong and the kind of officers and directors of SBA. So I try to get to the source of the knowledge, but SBA website is really the place to go. And it has a lot of things for you to learn. And I hope this is helpful. I'm going back to this application, and you can download, and then you get into this whole guide things. No surprise. The only surprise not really surprised. The only thing that caught me with a little bit off guard is actually the 3 months bank statement to prove that you're still in operation. So with that, and I'd like to conclude today's 30 minutes. We promised for 30 minutes. So someone asking me that, are you guys helping individual file any of the loans? Absolutely. We are actually do business plan and preparation for SBA loan documentation. That's part of our service here, belongs to the business consultation team. So if you ever need that kind of help, yes, you can always come tap into our service and we would love to help you. All right. Don't forget, go to YouTube. See, YouTube folks, subscribe to our channel because every time I have anything new, I cannot wait. I speak to you at midnight and I post. So you see me, I don't look really good on videos because sometimes I work the whole day, then I do a little video clip. It just takes time. But, I don't care. I don't need to look good and you just want to hear my knowledge, right? So there you go. It's all here. And I want you to know our channel and to subscribe to it. And of course, our website. Know that we have webinars listed right here, folks, for you. So you know what's coming up. All right. I have to go and I will talk to you again. One last question. Have you heard anything about being able to apply via your POS system? Not applying for this loan via your POS system. No, but your POS system maybe is an online computer. So of course you can log into SBA.gov to apply, but your POS system, that sales record for 2020 can be useful. You can upload that to the application so to prove that what is your gross revenue. All right, I will let go and I'll talk to you again on Saturday. Okay, bye-bye.